You know, you've hated something right from the beginning. I've hated this. Tried to like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. Looks stupid. Not to mention when I did this, and I should have known, and again, you learn from your mistakes. While I was welding it, it wasn't welding very well, and rather than stopping and cleaning everything, cleaning my tungsten, cleaning the aluminum, checking everything, I just kept kind of pushing through it. So the welds look like crap, some of the welds look good, but I mean, I hated it, and then on top of it, the welds look like crap, and it sits right there. It's like, there, open the hood, that's what you see. So we're gonna repurpose it. You ready? I can't think of anything else to do with this. It's already powder coated, it's already a shape, it looks stupid, I like it. Let's see how strong it is. Sit the truck and crush it. It's oval. You know what it looks like? Remember the old Camaros that used to have the oval intake and it used to blend round? That's what it looks like. Now it can be properly purposed. What do you think? Hole in one. So I ordered this. This is a tighter radius 4-inch. Radius means this point here to this point. This is tighter. I think it's actually on a 3.5-inch radius, where the other one was a 5-inch radius. So coming out of the turbo, we should be able to point it where we want it. And with this leg here, I think if I come out of the turbo, I might be able to do it in one piece. Now, you know it's cut more, so I tend to cut long. I actually think I need my cut here, but again, it's better to cut long and cut back. So I'm going to cut here. Alright, so I'm going to take that over and get that powder coated. I can live with that now. It looks like a big John almost 2, but at least it's smooth and it's one piece. It looks like it's supposed to be there. So I can live with that. I like that now. Alright, harness bar is back. And that blue is so much prettier. I wish you could see this in person. It's actually better than it looks on the camera. So actually in a couple of episodes back, you might have seen George and I were sitting in the car measuring and looking at this area, so this probably answers those questions. We wanted to build a divider piece for the piece between the carpet and the back. So it's not only going to hold the carpet down, it's kind of like a nice transition, so it looks like it's designed to be there. So this is what we came up with. We have an aluminum strip right here that is going to be powder coated black, and it'll be a good blend between the gray in the front and the black in the back. So the metal down there is thick enough that George is drilling and tapping. That way a stainless bowl goes right in there, and it's a nice finishing piece. So after looking at that, we decided those braces, we're going to powder coat those black along with the trim over here. I'm going to show you that. So these are the pieces. This is our trim, and they bolt to this like we just showed you in the car. You see those holes are drilled and tapped. So we're going to powder coat this to match. That way there's a nice transition between, I'm going to show you the harnesses, even though you just saw it, right between the gray and the black. That way there's like a cutoff. And again, it might be a tiny subtle change, but you know, it's the way we want to do it. So you know where those parts are going. See the color now against the white. That was fantastic. So a lot of people asking about, are you using seatbelt mounts? Absolutely. The bar cannot go to just sheet metal. Like here is just thin sheet metal, and obviously there's not enough strength. If you was to use a seatbelt point, it's usually double or triple layer. You can't really tell, but in that pillar it's probably triple layer there, and there's a big threaded hole. Also over here, this is a seatbelt point too. Again, it's a much stiffer part to bolt to. You can't just go bolt to, you know, sheet metal. If you look at a harness bar or a roll bar, typically they'll have a pad that takes up a big section, and then there'll be a backing piece too to spread the load around. You can't just go right through sheet metal with a washer, it'll pull out. So it has to be a heavy point, a seatbelt point, which is what we've used here. And again, the video we said that the harness bar didn't fit. I'm kind of thinking it was a universal bar that they marketed as a 2000 Civic bar, because those bars came back, and they came back over here somewhere. They didn't line up. They almost lined up with this hole here, but I think they're about 2 inches short. So we used those bars, cut them down, and welded the threaded piece back in, so they'll come back to these points here. So again, not saying anything bad about the bar. I'm thinking that they marketed it as a 2000 Civic bar and just have a universal, which you know, again, hindsight being 2020, we should have just built our own bar, but it's going to look fantastic when it's in there. Alright, this means the grill is going back together, which means we can install it in the bumper. This should look really nice, all those new clean parts. Alright, so a lot of people have been asking about new headlights and refinishing the headlights and everything else. Now these headlights, if you wet sand them and polish them, they will come shinier and they'll appear to be shiny. But when you look at it on the edges, you'll see that the lenses actually have, it almost looks like really fine spider cracks all together, and it's just fatigue, and it kind of glistens in the light. You can't really tell on camera. I didn't want to go with JDM black housing headlights because, for one, they're pretty expensive, and two, this isn't a Civic Type R, and we're not going for the Civic Type R look. So what I did, you ready? You ready? We just replaced them with the OEM style. They're not genuine Honda, but we've used this in the past. It is a replacement headlight, and it's pretty good quality. And what I like about this is the back plastic is black instead of gray. So it actually kind of goes with our theme of the car too. Everything looks like it's kind of planned out. And of course, as you see, we changed these to the stainless Allen bolts. You've seen these before. I like the look of these. They're not over obnoxious, they're not the dress-up bolts by any means, but they do look clean. So once that front bumper is on, this thing will really be coming together. The piece over here is getting powder coated black, that's why that is missing. But I think once that is back and the bumper is on, we can drive this, put some miles on it, brake in the clutch, go over the street driving, then we'll put it on the dyno and finish the tune.